back.
We back.
Yep.
Now you mate.
Yep.
Real Talking Sports with Pat and Tay.
Real talk.
Same YouTube channel.
Real talk.
Still lip sync.
Outcast.
URL. We back.
Background.
Appreciate you guys' support, your love. Again, you can follow us on the Twitter, the RTN Sports. Hit us up on the email. That's rtnsports@yahoo.com.
Yeah, Real Talking Sports.lipsync.com. You know, that's where
Outcast.
all of the podcasts gonna be. You know what I'm saying? You know, go to the YouTube, subscribe to the page. All the videos will be there. But if you don't want to see the videos, you can go to the Lipsync, check out the podcast. All the whole show gonna be right there for you. So you get best of both worlds. You don't want to hear the whole show, you don't have to. Go to YouTube, watch half of it.
Options. It's a beautiful thing.
Back, you know what I'm saying? But what you need to do though is get familiar, subscribe,
follow, and listen.
That's what you need to do.
A lot going on. How's everything going on with you, Tay?
Man, I'm feeling good, man.
It's
Look,
Wednesday, man.
I tell you, when we get to Wednesday,
that energy.
I just get this extra little burst of energy when it's time
like a Red Bull
to talk that real.
That 5-hour energy comes.
Real talk.
Yeah, because, guys, it's 11:06 on a Wednesday. We both work the 9 to 5.
Man.
But we still going to give y'all the real.
It don't even matter. We're going to
give
do
y'all
what
the
we do,
real.
how we do it, when we do it. You did.
So, let's get right into it.
Might as well get to it, huh?
Right into it. We're going to start out with ISIS.
With old ISIS is back.
Once again.
These fools.
Not even having elections.
Man.
No democracy.
ISIS, man. They stopping elections. They still killing people.
Kayla Mueller, 26-year-old,
26, man,
murdered her.
They just executing people, man, for no reason. I mean, ISIS, you know, like we got to give a weekly ISIS report because
it seems like every week.
Every week, somebody get killed or something happens. You know, Jordan had they stopped their airstrike last week. They had planned an airstrike against ISIS at the end of last week, and they actually stopped it. And you know, President, you know, he came out.
Obama came out and said he vows to destroy ISIS.
A little bit, you know. So, you know, when Big O put his foot down, man, you know how that goes. I mean, you can ask them other foes what happened when Big O put his foot down.
One thing I like about Obama, he makes the American people realize that we will not live in terror. No. We will not live in fear.
We're not going to be scared of nobody. It's the United States of America.
So, yeah, but we want to give some special prayers here to the Kayla Mueller who passed away.
Yeah, definitely prayers to Kayla and her family, man. That's unfortunate. She even had to deal with ISIS. You know, you dealing with people. They got masks on. They got guns. You know, in the desert or probably some crazy place that you're not used to seeing, that you just dealing with the foolery. So you know, that's just tough altogether. So. Just shout out to her and her folks, man. Hopefully this ISIS thing come to an end soon, man.
It has to. It seems like every week.
Man,
every week we're starting off the show with about ISIS. So
ISIS giving us something to talk about every week. Now you know it's cool because we're gonna talk about it. Give us our stuff for our show. But I'm just saying, man. Putting the bodies together. Like,
So I mean, we even got an email from James in Kentucky. Shout out, James. We told him to subscribe.
What up, James? We appreciate that.
Appreciate the email. But he basically stated, what would be some of our alternatives to stopping ISIS? Do we think Obama should go to war? I don't think it should be a war.
I don't think we have to go to war, though.
I don't think we have to go to war either.
Because they're not a huge faction. They're not like, Al Qaeda. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different ball game. Even though they have a nice number in size, but it's not like dealing with Al Qaeda. Like that's almost like a whole country.
Yeah.
ISIS is a group.
And they're trying to. They had several attempts
you might send the boys over there.
Yeah, we had several attempts to go ahead and try to rescue some of the individuals that's been held captive, and they failed. Some in Syria, some in Iraq. So again. James, we appreciate the question. Send your information if you're watching this so you can get your t-shirt. Again, we promised a t-shirt, James will be the first recipient of our t-shirt. Speaking of t-shirts, you win that $500 million. There's a lot of t-shirts.
That's a whole lot of t-shirts.
Whole lot of t-shirts, yeah. If you guys don't know, in 44 states,
Lotto.
$500 million.
Wow.
Again, that's 500. I can't even say it. $500 million.
$500 million.
$500 million.
Because that is a lot.
That's a lot of money. $500 million.
Man.
Would you take the lump sum or would you take the annual?
Man, give me mine off top.
I need all my money.
Give me mine off top. Go ahead and take your taxes. Give me mine off top. I'm going to the bank.
You going to the bank?
Give me my money.
Yeah, man. It's the third highest Powerball in United States history.
Yeah,
We had Gloria McKenzie. Huge. She won $590 million, in Florida.
Yeah, but man, Florida, man, you gotta get on TV, man. Show
no
your face.
If I win, you guys won't see me. You guys won't know.
I will be doing the press conference live from the clipboard.
So,
one foot on the plane, the other foot on the carpet.
Yeah, man.
Saying, deuces.
Deuces. You will not see me. Speaking of deuces, we want to touch a topic right now that I don't think even the media outlets are really touching. The Chapel Hill shooting. Again, I'm sorry for the pronunciation of the name. I'm going to do my best. But I want to just take this time out to the show to basically give our stance on the whole, the way news outlets are carrying the deaths of D. Shadi Barak, Yusur Muhammad, and her younger sister, Razan Muhammad Abu Shalah. Again, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, but I wanted to get their names out. And, basically, there's a gentleman, 46-year-old, Mr. Stephen Hicks, executed these three individuals. Now, first thing that pops up is when I'm on Twitter today, I see 3 Muslims been killed. My thing about it is when 3 Puerto Ricans die, or 3 Irish people die, they're people. Why did the religion even matter when you're reporting these 3 human lives who passed? That's number one. Second is why do we have Stephen Hicks' wife on CNN saying it's not a hate crime?
Why are you interviewing?
Now, as far as I know, I've never really seen an assailant wife or spouse, in that matter, on TV the same day of.
Not important.
We also have Mr. Stephen Hicks. He's a part of an Atheist for Equality Facebook page.
Wait a second.
Atheist for Equality.
He's an atheist.
The atheist. My feeling on atheists is can't really have you guys around me because you guys don't stand for nothing. If you don't have any faith, you don't have any morals, that means you can do anything you want for me and not feel like you have any discipline or consequence. So,
real.
They said it was over a parking dispute. The victim's father, because 2 of the girls that were sisters, said that Mr. Hicks had run-ins with them already. So, I don't know if it was premeditated, but to shoot 3 human beings in the head, close bank, with a .38 caliber pistol is barbaric. And like I said,
not a hate crime, folks.
Muslim lives matter. It always, like I said, all lives matter. But in this case, and I want to give a shout out to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. They're having a huge visual. Again, they were great people. I mean, this couple went out to Turkey. Last year and gave free dental lessons to students.
Wow.
I mean, and they were.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it basically started over. The gentleman's daughter. Mr. Muhammad. His 2 daughters who passed, they wore religious dresses. So.
But they used to. He bullied them before.
Yeah, he bullied them before. It wasn't the first time.
So
it wasn't the first run-in.
So this cat, he want to do his thing on his, on his own little time, And, I mean, that's bullying. Like you bullying, like these grown people, like
grown people.
Like, what's wrong with you? Like, don't you have something to do better than to bully grown-ups? Like what are you doing?
Life too short, man.
Like what are you doing?
Life too short to live in hate.
Like what are you doing? Why are you hating?
Life too short to live in hate.
What can you do?
I mean, and speaking of the news, saying that me and you are part of the news, we try to give you the facts and we try to give you our opinions.
Tough one, NBC.
Mr. Brian Williams. Suspended
Williams.
6 months.
My man.
For
what are you doing?
As they investigate him.
What weren't you doing? Is the question.
Again, the nightly news managing editor and anchor.
Yeah.
Basically suspended for 6 months as they investigate him for particularly a story given back in 2003.
Yeah, he fraud, man.
Where basically he what happened is Commander Sergeant Major Tom Turpak had returned from war from Iraq, got 3 Bronze Stars, came back to MSG, the greatest place on the earth, came back to MSG and received a standing ovation. During that time, Brian Williams advised him that he was in a helicopter and it was shot down by RPGs. Again, Mr. Brian Williams. There was a poll done in 2014. Brian Williams was the 38th most trusted person in America.
Really?
So,
wonder where he is now.
He's suspended 6 months, and now his entire credibility is gone.
His career, man.
I mean, you were here to report the news,
all of that.
But we don't know if you're falsifying the news.
We don't know what's going on.
From Hurricane Katrina now.
We don't know what's going on, man.
There's also a story stemming back from
30 years, 40 years. This man's been with NBC for longer than we've been born. He's been with NBC.
There's a story stemming back from in the 1970s. They actually interviewed Mr. Daniel Murphy. He owns in Red Bank, New Jersey. He owns a Danny Steakhouse. Why this is relevant? Because Brian Williams said he was robbed at gunpoint while selling Christmas trees in 1970. So now it leads me to believe, 1, it was in front of a church. 2, the gentleman, Mr. Murray, had lived there. His family's owned a restaurant there from 1949. He's 71 years old. So, he wants to know, how did Brian Williams know it was a .38 caliber gun? A .38 caliber gun, revolver.
But I'm saying, Brian, he might know guns.
I mean, he may know guns.
So if somebody robbing you from in the front, and you see the gun, then you might be like, oh, he got a 38 pointing at me right now.
You're right.
So, but that's up to interpretation. You know how stuff happens, man. Brian, I don't know what you was doing, Holmes, but, man, after your little 6-month hiatus, man, you need to get it together.
Without pay.
Because you've been on TV too long to still be acting a fool, man. You've been on TV for a long time, maybe we'll see you again. Maybe not. Probably won't be back on nightly news.
We'll see. We'll get a second chance. You know the white privilege is real.
But for that drop, that's somebody else come up. So let's the hope.
Happy Black History Month.
He's up to the plate. So we got us a new African American anchor for NBC Nightly News
for the next 6 months. What would you do? Send your feedback to rtnsports@yahoo.com. Again, get familiar, subscribe, follow, and listen.
Yep.
We also got to talk about speaking of wars, we have the American Sniper trial. The gentleman indicted, accused of killing the American Sniper. I know you guys have probably seen that movie. Great movie.
If you haven't seen it, you might want to go do that.
So,
That drink is legit.
Speaking of death, we just got this news before we started taping. Mr. Bob.
Rest in peace to Bob Simon, man. So Bob Simon, if you don't know, has been on 60 Minutes for
Bob Simon.
Mr. Simon was on 60 Minutes.
Died in a car crash.
But he had a car crash, man.
In New York.
That's tough.
in a chauffeur car.
Yeah, man, that's tough. So,
Been in Anchor since 1996.
Yeah, it'd be more, that'll probably come from that. But that was like some breaking news. So, what, we was in the midst of doing our thing. We saw it pop up on the screen. So we figured, hey,
go ahead and
we got the news. We got to give you the news because you got to get the news when we get the news. You know what I'm saying?
Also, we want to say rest in peace to Mr. Trayvon Martin, who would have been 20 years old on February 5th.
Trayvon.
As we know. Not even going to get into it.
Yeah, we can't even talk about that. We know about Trayvon.
We want to show our respect.
Rest in peace to Trayvon, man.
May his death not be in vain.
On his B-Day, man. And, the following day.
It's a better day, especially for Jamaicans.
It was a great day. And if you were in
Jamaica,
you probably are pretty elated now.
And iron.
So we gotta shout out the OG Bob
Marley.
Happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? If you don't,
you don't know who Bob Marley is.
Bob Marley. So, I don't think we really need to go into the detail about Bob Marley.
The prophet.
Bob Marley is the man.
Bob Marley,
yeah.
Bob.
It's Bob. So, you know who it is. Like, why we don't really need to get into that. But anyway, why we bring up Bob Marley and his birthday on the 6th. So, what happened in Jamaica on the 6th is the Jamaican government has legalized the use of marijuana for medical, religious, and scientific purposes. So pretty much, for the most part, weed is legal. They're doing everything they can to decriminalize it. They're actually giving you, it's up to 7 plants you can cultivate at one time.
People gonna abuse that.
Per household. So, they probably got all kinds of buds and things like that going on. Jamaica.
So yeah, we have that going on.
We had to talk about Bob, man. I checked this. They had this documentary on Netflix. The full documentary. They showed it on VH1 like last year, and it was. They cut it up. It's commercials and stuff like that or whatever. But they had the full one on Netflix, and it was
documentary.
The whole documentary, yeah. So. The whole one was pretty good. It was a couple things that was in that one that I didn't catch on the first one.
Yeah.
But
and then
man.
We have to
I guess we got to talk about this.
Yeah, this horrifying news.
This next situation is
we have a 2-month-old child being murdered by an 11-year-old child in Cleveland, Ohio.
What's going on in Cleveland?
It's not good publicity for Cleveland.
Cleveland they just having a tough time.
Prayers to Trinia Whitefield, mother of 5, who was basically called. It was a friend of the family who basically called and insisted that she take a couple of days off and let him watch the 2-month-old child. My thing is, I have a daughter. My child mother did not leave my daughter's side for the first 6 months.
No mother should. No mother.
So
it don't matter.
It's neglect on both
come on.
ends.
2 months, really? Like you probably just came home.
So it's a tough situation. I want to say prayers to the family and just see what type of. We gotta give you guys the news because the type of world we live in. We need to start off with the news and let you guys know it's real out here.
It's real.
It's real. It's not gonna get any better. It's just gonna get worse. So make sure you stay prayed up.
You gotta stay
some sort of faith.
Stay on your grind.
Again, the 11.
There is no shine.
The 11.
That grind.
The 11-year-old is being taken in to psychiatric evaluation, and I think the mother should be charged too.
I'm sure she's gonna have some kind of issue because that's 2 months, man.
Yeah, 2-month-old.
That's
so I'm gonna give her prayer to that, and I mean it's a lot going on in this world, so we just thank you guys for just tuning in.
Yeah.
To part 1.
Forget about Jon Stewart.
How do we almost forget about Jon Stewart?
Forget about Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart is leaving The Daily Show.
He just stepped down though.
He did step down.
Like awesome exit stage left.
He did step down. So yeah.
He stepped down.
Heard he's gonna run for president.
Man, there's no telling. He probably get some votes.
He probably will. I'll vote for him.
After the Rock, man. I mean, somebody that the next person that coming along, they're gonna have to impress me because, yeah, I mean, what's coming after Big O, man? I don't know. I don't know if I'm really looking forward to this next president.
I mean, my views on
the
it.
woman president is coming.
My views on it is I don't even think the president runs the country, but that's
the president doesn't run.
That's for
not here in the United States.
A whole entire other discussion.
No, that's just real life. The president doesn't run the country.
He doesn't. So, but again, as
the front head.
Yes, but he can veto everything.
Yeah.
So
give him a little bit of power.
A little something. But again, we're gonna wrap. We're gonna wrap episode one up in a nice White House, right?
And the White House, right? But
part one of Volume 8.
You know what it is? Volume 8. Real talk.
We'll be back at y'all.
Pat, tape, and you know what's coming next?
A sports edition.
You know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about.
A little bit more up tempo.
A lot to discuss. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do, man. We be back, man, when we be back. So see y'all in happy.
Again, get familiar, subscribe, follow and listen.
See you
back at y'all.